Grab your pre-workout and turn up that volume. It is time for a new episode of the Powerlifter's Den with your host, Cam Smith. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Powerlifter's Den. I'm your host, Cam Smith, and today I want to bring on the Florida Boyz, Shane Haller and Craig Foster. Craig and Shane, why don't you guys introduce yourself?
My name is Craig Foster, a.k.a. the Paw King, a.k.a. now the Foster 1K, Squat King at this point right now. Here with you.
And I'm Shane Haller. I train with Craig, and we like to squat.
Awesome. So to get started, I know you guys both just competed at the Ghost Clash, so something I want to compete at some point. It seems like a phenomenal meet to be a part of, especially for the raw guys, obviously. Why don't you guys tell a little bit about your experience with it?
It was cool. I mean, this is the second time we've done it. So we did the very first one 2 years ago. And then this is actually like Craig's probably third Miami meet. Alex puts on a couple other meets throughout the year and stuff too. So he's been down there 3 times, but this is like twice.
Fourth one overall now. Yeah, because I did the Ghost twice.
Yeah, that's
Throw down, and I did the Cordelia. This is my 4th meet in Miami.
You got some good luck in Miami. It's like
I always feel like I got shitty luck in Miami.
You squat a lot, but it's those meets. I mean, there's always really, really good meets down in Miami, and Alex has like really continued that on and stuff. So like the first one we did, like the roster was pretty loaded, but I felt like this one overall was like a little bit more so. You had people that had won in previous years, like Denise and John won last year. I came back after winning it the first year. Craig squatted 1,000 pounds in wraps the year that the first year we did it, and he did 1042, this last one and stuff. So I mean, it was definitely kind of like everyone up in their game a little bit, and it's just always a really good meet. It's close for us too. Usually we got to travel. We go to like Kansas City or Texas or California. He's been out to California for the Kern and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, to like just drive a couple hours is like extra nice.
Perfect.
You just load your car up with everything you need. Like you don't have to worry about getting it on an airplane or losing your bag or anything like that. So it's
it makes it a lot easier. It's like a local meet. Feels like a local meet, but it's a big meet atmosphere at the same time.
Yeah, so with the meet, I know this year was in a brewery. With the previous 2, were they in locations similar to that, or were they in more of like a typical like meet space?
So I think last year they had it at the same location, so it was at the brewery, and so we didn't compete last year. But the first year they had it, it was in like a
performance center, like a baseball performance center, or something like that,
Yeah, so like it was a huge area. So they had a giant warm-up room, they had a big space for the platform and stands and stuff, and they had like this whole separate area where it was like they were kind of like sectioned off. So like the meat was on this side, you can go through this little section, and then there was like this just turf where everyone could kind of like hang out and lay down and just chill in between lifting and everything, which was dope. But then like halfway through they had like a little kids baseball seminar at the same time. Like they kind of like double booked the venue. And so it was kind of like a weird dynamic where like you have all these like jacked up like adult men like grunting and throwing weight around. You got like little kids learning how to throw a ball across the gym. Yeah. It was a cool little dynamic for sure.
Yeah. So just to remind everybody, what did you guys end up hitting at the meet?
I did that was kind of like my worst one. I did a 1025 squat in wraps, so that was a PR. I bench 562 and pull 650, 2237. Not too bad, but like I came from the showdown a couple months before where I hit a PR 2292 and then come down like that. That was a letdown in that meet. But I was happy with the wraps squat because I almost bombed out the meet. So that's only good thing.
Dude. So Craig always he's like right there on depth. Like he's fast out of the bottom. So that's like the trick is just to like get up before they see you didn't hit it. And but he opened at like I don't know what was it, like 970. So he opens at that red light, and then goes to 970 again, red light. Then we just load up 1025, like a little more just to push him down.
Yeah, and it worked perfectly.
Lights on that.
Yeah. That squat I had a wall prep easily in wraps.
The only one he hit depth on the wall prep. But so that was badass. But this meet, I mean, you did more than that. So I mean, you tell him, but
yeah,
big improvement.
Yeah, big improvement. I hit 1041, even though it didn't count. I'd squat at 1041. Finally hit a bench PR at 606, and a pull. I should have hit a 694, but they only counted 650. But I mean, I missed no lifts at that meet, and I ended up totaling 2260 with everything.
2265, and then if you would, I mean, all the lifts you didn't get, it's like a 2342, which is weird to count it like that because I don't want to be one of those guys to say it, but it's like like you're strong enough to hit those numbers. It's just like to a judge's standard, which is like you don't want to be one of those guys that bitches about that either. But it's like you picked it up, you stood up with the weight, so it just gives you a little more confidence going into the next prep. And then so for me at that first one, I did 925 in sleeves, which was the all-time world record at the time. I had done a 556 bench, which was a PR, and then I pulled 865, which would have been a 2347 total, and I just missed 892, which would have been the all-time sleeve record at the time. So that was a really good meet for me, all PRs across the board and stuff. And then at this meet was the first time I had done wraps since like pre-COVID. Basically, John Hack, Jamal, and Blake LeHue at the time were all signed up on the Raw side, and I was like, well, I'm not going to get any money if I join up on that one. So I figured I would throw wraps on. It worked out. I mean, there was only like 7 or 8 guys that were in wraps. And then so I signed up, and then like a month or 2 out of the meet, that Boris guy from Bulgaria, super nice guy. I got to meet him at the meet, but he's like crazy strong at 220, and his dots would have smoked mine. So it was like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like there's only 8 of us, one guy from around the world showing up, and he's coming to sweep it up. But I felt bad. He got injured in the warm-up room, so he didn't end up even competing, and I didn't find out till after squats. But I ended up squatting 948, which was a PR. It's kind of lame because I feel like I should have squatted more. Like getting 20 pounds out of the wraps is not like I'm like bitching about a 950 squat, but like if you do like gym bro math, like it probably could have been a little more. Yeah. And then I benched 562, which was the first bench PR I had since the last Ghost meet, so that was like good luck. And then I pulled 920, and that put me at a 2430 total, which is just a little bit above 1,100 kilos, so 1,107.5 kilos or whatever that is. So,
yeah. So I guess kind of digesting some of that, Craig. I guess I wanted to ask you first. I know for obviously like the squats kind of the fast on the descent, and it's harder to tell sometimes with the depth. But with the 1041, is that something that you kind of knew was a little high, or it just was kind of the luck of the draw?
I was 50-50 because as I was ascending, the whip was just so much that I couldn't push it down to like try to hit the depth, at least sell it anyway. And when I came up, I was like, well, if I get it, I get it as a gift, and if I don't, I don't. It is what it is. But as I looked at the video, I was like, damn, it was like closer, honestly, closer than what I thought it was. I honestly thought it was higher than what it was, but
usually the internet like shreds his squats. So like after the meet, like a lot of people were defending it, and I was like, yeah, like it's nice for him to like
finally for the first time.
Yeah, because when I saw it and I watched it compared to the second attempt, I was like, I can't even really tell the difference. Like, I mean, I know I didn't know who the other 2 judges were, but I know Trevor Jaffe, and he's very good at what he does. So I just wanted to kind of get a little bit further depth into what kind of went on there.
I just
was getting a bad rap, Trevor, for his pauses at the bench at the meet too. He was caught. I liked it. I got a PR. Craig got a PR, so I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. It makes it a little more legit.
I love Trevor. I'm not mad at Trevor. I love him. I don't think he was judging. I think it was one of those USPO kids, and that's who called me. And on the 1003, I went a lot faster, so they couldn't see that because it's the same depth. But on the 1041, I went so slow. So you can literally see it. Yeah. That tip on that whole spot.
Yeah, so.
But it is what it is.
Yeah. So if you guys had to pick, like, your favorite lift outside of, like, what you guys did from the meet, what would you say?
You go first on that, Craig.
The 606. Because I missed it, like, that was first bench PR in, 3 years since Showdown? So, I mean, like, I've been missing 606 for, like, 2 or 3 meets now in a row.
We did the same thing where we both, like, we used to just take a big jump and get like a 5-pound PR. But so like I did 2 meets prior to this one since the last Ghost, and both of them I do 523, and I went right to 562 and miss. And then the next meet I was like, oh, it's there this time. Miss. And Craig did the same shit. He went one for 3 in the last 2 comps, so it feels damn good to get that last bench.
Yeah, it feels good. Even though it's 6 pounds, that 6 pounds was like, damn.
You worked hard for it, bro.
Yeah, that was a long 6 pounds to get, so I was proud of that. That's probably my favorite lift. I'll probably throw the pull to 694, even though it didn't count. That's still a PR to me, personal PR. So I know, and it was easy, so I know I have more in me. So I'll say that too.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put up some insane numbers, like numbers that are just not comprehensible with like the normal people. I remember I was watching that stream all day. It was our squat Sunday, and just watching all the insane lifts. It was really impressive to see you guys lift. But outside of that, maybe some of the other competitors, what are some of the most impressive lifts you've seen?
Dude, John's deadlift was wild. So like, I was like, I didn't even know he was gonna pull something like that because I opened a little heavier than him. So like, I was just like, I thought he'd be somewhere around 900. Like he's consistently like that, and then he pulled like 920 or something in the animal cage, and you're just like, okay, well, like, you don't know how you don't know how close you can time something like that. Like it's a big pull, you know what I mean? So you don't want to blow your peak. And dude, he came in and ripped up 939, like fucking conventional, just grabbing it. Like that's wild. The women's deadlift, all the deadlifts were wild, dude. Jamal's big pull, 1014. The girls battling out with like the biggest pull ever. There's 3 of them going back to back to back. Like that was insane. You know what I mean?
That was crazy to watch. I probably say easier the women's deadlift. What Samantha pulled? What 645 or 44?
Yeah,
Denise pulled 642 or something.
Somewhere around there. Denise was like 633. I came out at one point and she was pulling and they were saying it was an all-time world record, but it wasn't the all-time world record because Sam had done that like the pull before, and like I kind of got like lost in the shuffle. I was like, is this a weight class PR? Or is this a total PR?
I think Denise was like a weight class.
Yeah, hers was 165. Yeah,
I think Samantha has an all-time overall for women. I think
just the fact that they're that close. I'd be like 3 people at the same meet trying to squat raise 1080. You know what I mean? You guys are all like pounds off. Like it's just crazy.
Back to back.
Like,
yeah, and I think the Denise pulling beltless is just even crazier.
She pulled. I feel like she pulled that weight or right around that weight for like weeks leading into the meet. Like some people's training is like we train very like I wouldn't say light. It's a lot of frequency and volume, and then like we just peak pretty hard like going into the competition. So like he never hits 1,000 pounds in the gym. I never squat really like 9 or pull 9 in the gym or anything like that. But like to be able to do that for weeks on end and then do more at the competition, crazy.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, no, so that's something for me, this prep that's been awesome. Like, towards my peak, I'm actually hitting, like, PRs 3 weeks out, so.
You PR'd everything going into this, haven't you? Like, you're 2 weeks out, and, like, everything's been at least, like, a 10 or 6 pound PR or something like that.
Yeah, and they've all been, like, relatively, I guess, easy is, like, an interesting word to use, but, like, there's definitely plenty left in the tank, and that's before I even recover.
That's a second attempt, right? You know what I mean? Or, like, somewhere in between a first and a second, so.
Yeah. So, I guess, where do you guys train out of?
So we're at Pinellas Barbell, and I guess it's Pinellas Park, right, Greg?
Yeah,
there's a bunch of towns that are all kind of near the same spot: Seminole, Largo, Pinellas Park, but it's in Pinellas County, so it's why Pinellas Barbell. And it opened in 2016. I was friends with the owners beforehand, so I was like one of the first members, and then Craig was like, he was there like the very next year. So we've been training together for maybe.
7 years for us.
7 years. It's like a wedding anniversary or something. That's been my boy. And countless workouts.
Yeah, literally.
So where in Florida is that, Jim? I know Florida is a massive fucking state. So I live in little Massachusetts.
Dude, I'm from Massachusetts. I wanted to talk to you about that. So like, it's in Tampa. So if you think like, if like I don't know, Florida's like the big like kind of peninsula going in. It's on the West Coast side, and then like it's just underneath Ocala. It's like kind of in between Orlando and stuff. But Tampa's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like Tampa's kind of known for, yeah, like the Tampa Bay Bucks, or like I feel like people know like. I feel like Tampa's known for like, strip clubs and stuff. Yeah, the Lightning. Like, yeah. It's not like, I feel like it gets a bad rap. Like people are like Tampa, Florida, like ugh.
But we're probably like what 30, 40 minutes. Because I live in Tampa, and we're like 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
From there, so nice little area, dude. Perfect gym, perfect vibes, no drama. Everyone's cool there. Everyone just wants to get better. So it's like coming to the gym is like perfect. Especially
it's a little hole in the wall. Like it's, you know, we have like I wouldn't say basic equipment, like everything you're gonna need for like general strength training. So like multiple benches, a monolift, multiple squat racks, all the bars, kilo plates. You know, it's a good spot, but it's like it's, you know, it's not polished. It's like a very kind of like, you know, rustic kind of a feel, which is kind of why I like it. You don't want to train at like a Globo gym or something, you know. It's not a good place to get strong.
I love a good gritty gym.
They're the best ones.
So Shane, you said you're from Massachusetts. What part?
So I'm from Western Mass. So like, you know where like Holyoke is? Yep. Kind of like Holyoke, Chicopee area. So there's a little town called Granby, which is like near Belchertown and Springfield, right around that area. But it's like 6,000 people. So I lived there until I was maybe like 11, and then I moved down to Florida. So I've been in Florida like my whole life, you know, for the most part, besides that. But I still have like all my family lives up there. Like my grandpa lives out on Cape Cod and everything else like that. So I saw like Massachusetts, and I was like, all right, we got a mass hole in the house. There we go, boys.
Yeah. So actually, when I wrestled in high school, I don't know if it was just states or all states, but I actually wrestled a kid from Granby. So that's funny.
Oh, really? That's the Rams, dude. I never actually got to go to high school there, but like, and that's like I said, a town of 4,000 people. I think there was maybe. I don't know what the classification for the school would have been, but I'm assuming small, because there was like maybe like 100 kids in that graduating class, like tiny.
So with down in Florida, what's kind of like, I guess, if you could like describe the powerlifting scene down there, because I know up in New England, it's becoming a lot more like multiply. It's definitely growing a lot in New England, so kind of wanted to hear what it's like down there.
I was explaining it to one of my boys. It's the equivalent to like, you know, high school football, how Florida is the talent-wise. It's the same in powerlifting, in my opinion. Just stack. Everyone's powerlifting. Everyone's strong. I mean, almost every weekend you can almost see a meet happening somewhere. So
there's a lot of I feel like USAPL. So like it's kind of funny how like it's regionalized based on like the equipment choice. Like up north, or like in the Midwest, like it's heavy like equipment, you know, multiply and everything else like that. Down here's there's like a multiply like scene, but it's more raw. So like there's a lot more like USAPL kids. Like that's like a big driver. Like any gym in the area is typically like funded by like college USAPL kids, and then like you have your general like older crowd a little bit, like guys that have been in it for a bit. But especially in our area, there's Pinellas Barbell, there's Barbell, there's Legacy Barbell, there's a Powerhouse that has a powerlifting team, Elite strength and conditioning in Tampa, and that's like all within like 30 minutes of us. So there's 5 powerlifting gyms, and they all have, you know, Jen Rotzinger was like one of the best like lady powerlifters ever, like multiple all-time world record total, all 3 of the lifts at like 114. Dan Bell lives 3 hours away over in Daytona. We go train with him every once in a while. Miami's got a ton of badass lifters. There's pretty good lifters in our area too. So I mean, it's kind of, I think we're fortunate, because I mean, I know there's other spots where it's like you got to drive to find a crew, or you got to drive to a gym, and you know you're not as they're not as
everybody
abundant,
knows,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
And everybody knows each other, even though we're distance away. Everyone knows each other. We're all travel to different gyms just to get a training session.
And that's kind of the fun part. I mean, you go to different gyms, you go to different meets just to support people, and kind of we like I don't know if you guys like tailgate meets up in Mass, but like that's kind of what we do. Like maybe that's like the Florida thing, I guess, but like it's like, you know, you show up,
and beer,
crack a beer, you're drinking beer in the warm-up room, and you're just yelling and, you know, loading plates. Yeah.
Well, I guess I have to compete in Florida then, because we do not do that up here. It's probably it's snowing half of the year, so.
Dude, come on down, man.
I'm actually going to be coming down to Daytona for the storm meet, so
Oh, dude, I'm gonna be over for that on probably the multiply day, which will be Saturday, and then the raw day is on Sunday. So I might make it back over on Sunday, but depending on if I stay overnight. But dude, that'll be perfect. I'll see you then. Then it's gonna be that meet's kind of loaded.
So my friend John Rupo, he's I don't know if you've heard Hellbent Barbell up in Connecticut.
Yeah.
So his coach Mike Skiba is competing.
He was at the Miami meet recently.
Yeah, because he coaches Bobby Hume. Well, I don't know if he.
I was getting an IV with Bobby.
Yeah, he doesn't coach Bobby. He's friends with Bobby. Ben Pauly coaches Bobby, and then Trey Lounsbury also trains out of there. He's a freak of nature too.
That's crazy. I was getting an IV with Bobby in Miami after weigh-ins, and it was like he was getting the IV in one arm, and he was sipping like an alcoholic beverage in the other one, dude. I'm like, you're hydrating and dehydrating at the same time. He's funny though, bro. He's funny as fuck.
Yeah. So my friend John, he owns Evolve, which is in Worcester, Mass. So that's like dead center.
Okay.
And so he's competing there, and like a bunch of people from Hellbent, and that lineup is just ridiculous for multiply. So,
and it's gonna be because I know Bob Merck's doing it. I know Chris Delafave's doing it. And those are like, I think they're wearing banded shirts too, so they're gonna put up some like big numbers. There are a couple of big squatters down here. So like the multiply scene's not huge here, but I feel like the lifters that we do have are pretty solid. Like there's at least, I mean, I can count like a handful of guys that probably squat over $1,000 and stuff. And, you know, I feel like that's like, and you like hear that in multiply and you feel like that's kind of like a throwaway number. 1,000 pounds is 1,000 pounds. Craig will tell you
regardless of the
it doesn't matter what you got on. That's heavy weight.
So I can't just throw on a like that. So I'm actually going to be competing in multiply this winter. I'm going to get into it, and
dude, nice.
It's like no, you can't just throw on a suit and put 1,000 pounds on your back. It's not how it works.
Well, no, and you need a crew too. Dude. Anyone that does multiply, like who's the dude that won the WPO this year?
Awesome.
But the guy that got second, it's like Travis McKinney.
Yeah, I believe so.
So, I mean, I've heard he kind of trains with people, but like that's kind of like the thing too is like he supposedly trains by himself, like in his garage. So it's like to do that would be with the equipment and wrapping your knees and loading all the fucking, you know, everyone trains like accommodating resistance. So getting bands and chains and setting up all the different stuff every session, dude, like it takes a village.
Yeah, dude, we got one that comes to our gym. He does single ply. It's just a workout just to get his suit on.
He just walks up. He's like, put my straps on, wrap my knees, load my plates.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were back in September. We were at Blue Collar Barbell, which is in on Long Island, and John he competes multiply, but he'll be doing single ply for this meet. But literally he swelled up so much that day it took 6 of us to get his briefs off.
That's like the thing, bro, is if your stuff just happens not to fit good on the day, like you could have prepared everything perfect except that. And then like you're fucked. You're not getting that pop out of the bottom. You're not getting the bubble in your chest and you can't wedge properly. Like it's like it's a science, dude. Like I feel like I talked to somebody about it once and it was like there's like NASCAR and there's drag cars. Like there's like, it's still racing, but it's like, it's different. Like it's a different kind of like, you gotta have a little bit more respect for it kind of a deal. But
usually when I try to explain to people, I'm like, it's like long jump versus pole vault. Like just because you grab a pole doesn't mean you're going to jump higher.
Yeah, you got to know how to use it, bro.
Exactly. Yeah. So have you guys ever thought about getting into some gear?
I feel like we say it sometimes. Like Craig probably says it more than me as far as like getting in like a single ply shirt or like one of those
I like getting a bench shirt, multiply, just to see if I can like bench 700-800 pounds.
He doesn't like tight equipment though. It's like the thing. So like even like when he would wrap knees, like he doesn't like his knees wrapped tight. He doesn't like his belt is like it's like a jumbo size like dinner belt. Like it folds up a million times. No. It's soft and squishy. Like
no,
it's not a tight belt. And it's like it's ironic because like he gets under these heavy fucking weights and he doesn't like any other compression on like his knees or like his belt. You know what I'm saying? But it's like so he's particular about it. But like I think that would probably be the thing is we got to get you used to being like uncomfortable in that stuff, dude. Because it's I've worn briefs before, like some multiply briefs. When I hurt my back and it was like kind of like to help support me a little bit. But even that, dude, like we would hang like the carpet hangers like on hooks and you just fucking put your pants in and you're just jumping up and down like a baby in like one of those little fucking, I don't know, supportive deals. And like you're trying to get in your stuff and then to get it off, you're all cut up and everything, looking like Tony the Tiger on your legs, dude, with all those big red stripes and stuff. So it's fun for sure, but it's, you know, it's just a whole. We already spent 4 hours in the gym as is, so like I feel like if we did equip, we would just like live there.
Basically, I'm gonna get a cop there. Just
So, Craig, when did you hit your first 1,000-pound squat?
3 years ago. Actually, it's coming up. Actually, I think tomorrow, 2021, April 24th. Kern. At the Kern.
So what was it like going into that meet, kind of thinking about, like, this is the first time? Well, I don't know if you hit it in the gym prior or if this was the first time having your 1,000 on your back.
2 weeks before, I did like a reverse band with 1,000 to kind of just to feel how it was. And after that, I kind of knew if I do everything right, I should hit 1,000. And I trained for it because I did the showdown. We did the first showdown back in September 2020, and I hit 981, but they called me on depth. Even though I missed it, I knew the strength's there. If I put
the plan was to go to 1,000 at that meet too, like you.
Yeah,
that was the goal.
I didn't feel it. It wasn't confident at that point, but I hit the 981. They called me on depth, and even though I missed it, I still knew I had the strength, and I took the time, spend the next 7-8 months actually build. I know I could hit 1,000, and it was just occurred, and I was just like, that's my bucket list of meets that I wanted to do in powerlifting. I signed up right away. Went right to work and told Sean, my coach, that's the goal. I want to squat 1,000 pounds. And we put in the work. We did everything. And we got to the day of fucking warm-up room. It was a shit show. From fucking my last warm-up, I had to wait. I had to wait for what's his name? The strong guy, the strongman.
You don't have to drag him, but yeah, like Nick.
But anyway, I got messed up, threw me off in my warm up room, and then
he was my first attempt. Like 826 on for his last warm up, and like they were like, we need the bar, and the guy wasn't coming up to like the next flight, and he's like, well, I'm actually up next. I'd have to hit. And they're like, we need the bar. And like literally 7 reds, whoop, just off.
Yeah.
And then they have to load.
And I got 10 minutes, 10 minutes in my first warm up. And we got to go out there. Yeah. And my first squat, I think, was 915. And I hit it, but like the fucking rack was too low. So it was like a good morning squat. But I still hit it. And then I'm getting kind of nervous because my squats are just not feeling it. And I hit the 975. I hit it, but it was just like
you pitched forward bad.
Pitched forward bad, and I hit it. And then I was like, I don't know if we're gonna do it, but it's like let's load it up with 1,000. I came out here all the way, travel across the country. I got at least hit it, and then I just remember Dan gave me these little cues just to make push stay tight, and I could just hit it and just fucking squat. And that's literally all I did was just like pick the weight and I just fucking squat and hit it perfectly. Literally my best squat I did the whole meet. So. So that put me 4th all time, 4th person ever to squat 1,000 in sleeves.
At the time, it was before Jesus did it.
Yeah, before Jesus. No, because Dan did it. Dan already did it that year before.
Oh, you hit the 3. That was at the showdown. So you did the 10.
Showdown. I hit it. 1,008. I did it the showdown after. So, but yeah, I was the 4th person ever to squat 1,000 in sleeves at that time. So
it's always just like very dramatic watching him squat, and like the weight is one thing, but it's just like, is he gonna hit depth? Some of them don't look like at the last meet, like his opener didn't look as good as his 1,000, so it's like he gets better as and it's just like you don't, and not to say you don't know you're gonna get, like Craig's gonna stand up with it, but it's just like you don't know how fast it's gonna be, if it's gonna be depth or whatever, so it's like you're just like you know what I mean? It's like it adds like an extra layer of like if he hits it, you're like like it's fires you up.
Yeah, and I think part of it too is, I mean, even though you guys are pro level lifters, like that first attempt of any meet is always butterflies. So
oh bro, how much are you gonna judge me? Like what's it gonna feel like out there? Like, and I mean I don't think I've ever gone out and it's like you shit the bed on your opener, but like there's just like it's months, you know what I mean? It's months and months of hard work that goes into that. You got a couple attempts at like 10-second goes. And if your opener doesn't go good, like that's kind of a no for your day, bro. You know what I mean? So like you want to momentum. You want to just sit there and snowball it throughout all 9 of the lifts and keep it going your way.
Yeah, that's like, I mean, with other sports, you're training for months, you're practicing for months, but you have plenty of games a year. Even football, you have 16, like with powerlifting, you're training for 6, 8 months sometimes just to do 9 lifts and hope that, not hope, but you have to execute, and then 6, 8 months again.
Yeah, I mean, if you fuck up, dude, it's just like, all right, well, I'll see you again in half a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're thinking about it the whole time. I mean, whether it's like a missed, you know, rat call or, you know, something goofy like that, or just really just getting planted with some weights. I mean, it's tough to sit there and just kind of string it all together.
Yeah. So kind of more into that with stringing it together, kind of going into a meet individually, kind of explain what your attempt selection looks like, kind of how you guys prepare through a meet, go through a meet day.
I feel like like I was kind of saying earlier, we do a lot of lighter volume work. So it's we're squatting, benching, deadlifting twice a week. We squat and deadlift on the same day, twice a week. So everything's generally pretty light for the most part. And then I think the idea is just to get the bodybuilding conditioning with it. Like you're building muscle while you're doing the stuff, but like everything's fast. Like Fred Hatfield was big on that compensatory acceleration training, where it's just like you're hitting lighter weights like they're big, you know, similar to like speed method or whatever with conjugate training. But we kind of just do that throughout. And then really we don't even hit like our opener really until like our last heavy. And that'll be like a good chunk heavy. So like he was talking about that 1,000 he did. Like he only did 900 for a double before that, and then he gets 100 pounds of carryover at the meet. So it's like you got to kind of like just believe that like you did everything right and know that it's there instead of really kind of feeling for it. Whereas other people might want to do, you know, 950, 970 before they swing for maybe 30 more pounds. And like even, you know, for me at this last prep, I did a lot of stuff with bands for my deadlift, but like light bands. I stayed between like 960 and 970 range for the majority of my prep. And then I only pulled over 800 once, and it was like 848. That was my opener. And then I pulled 920 at the meet. So it's like I knew from the previous prep, if I hit these numbers at this time generally, that, you know, I should be good as long as they move how they should move. And you kind of look at, you know, film or video or whatever. But as long as they feel and look good, that, you know, you just kind of trust that process. It got me here last time, and, you know, it just kind of still delivers the next time through.
I'm kind of the same. I only squatted 900 twice, and my last heavy squat was 937, and that wasn't even my opener. We bumped my opener up to 948.
Yes, you did 110 pounds more at the meet than you did.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm only barely just openers. We might do a reverse band just to kind of fill, just to central nervous system. But I mean, the last 4 or 5 weeks, we might start touching heavy weights of them before the meet. But I mean, we're pretty much light weights, a lot of reps. We're volume guys, basically. So
even then, I think that just kind of ends up leading to, like, by the time we get to the meet, like, we've only maybe hit our opener in training, and then, I mean, second, you want to kind of be in the ballpark of either maybe a 5-pound PR if you're really feeling it, or just something that's going to kind of set you up for like that mid-range PR in a third to kind of build a total. But, you know, I mean, I've had 5 for 9 meets, and I've had 9 for 9 meets. So I have 1, you know, 8 for 9, 7 for 9, stuff like that. So, I mean, it really just kind of depends. Like, one lift can be jamming. Like, I thought my squat was going to be the banker going into this meet, squat and deadlift. And then my squat was kind of And then my bench, I haven't hit a PR in like 2 years. And that ended up being, like I said, my favorite lift of the day. Like, I just blasted everything that was on my chest. So, like, it's just kind of, you know, prepare yourself the best you can. And then, you know, what it kind of shakes out. But, you know, if we have this track record of things going into it, you just kind of want to try and stick to that.
Yeah, and I think it's.
And we've been doing the same thing for 6 years, 7 years. We've been doing the same thing, so we just trust the process at this point. So we just know if we hit a certain range, we know how much we have left. So that's just how we always been, basically.
I think with over years too, you kind of know, I guess, percentage wise what you're gonna get from your deload and your taper. So obviously, as you get stronger, the percentage means more pounds. So it's not unrealistic for a 1,000-pound squatter to only squat low 9s going into a prep, because they know once they recover that 1,000's there.
And I think that's almost like, I wouldn't say discipline with it, but I mean, like, you gotta just have really all buy-in with your program and like the training you're doing. So like if you need to feel the weight. Like your body doesn't really need to feel the weight. So I mean, I guess everyone has different strokes, different folks for whatever, but like, it's like one of those things where people are like, I got to feel it to really know if I'm good for it, or this is how I prepare my body. And it's just like, you can, but like, I mean, there's other ways to kind of go about it. Like, you don't need to hit something that heavy. If, you know, like if you're willing to do whatever it takes to sit there and hit a number in a meet, if I told you doing less would actually be better for you at the meet, like, are you really all in? Are you really going to sit there and, you know, buy into that and do what you have to do? So I think it's just kind of just like, it's an extra level of just training discipline where, like, you know, you have to be reserved even if you want to push it on certain days and stuff.
Yeah, I kind of feel that with like my prep right now. Like in a prep, I'm hitting like these small little PRs, but knowing I have more in the tank instead of just swinging for something crazy, missing it, then getting all up in my head for meet day.
You want to like stay chomping at the bit, dude. Like, you want to know, like, damn, I got a lot more on this, or damn, I can do a lot more than that. But like, it's like you just stop just before, right? You just fucking just get right there.
You get as much momentum as you can before the meet day. That's all. Miss no list. I feel like you shouldn't miss lists in training.
Yeah.
Unless you shouldn't miss. In my opinion, I think you shouldn't.
That's kind of something that I'm learning I'm still relatively new to the game. I mean, my first meet was a push-pull in 2020, so I haven't been doing this for long. So something that I'm learning. Obviously, the way the sport's growing now, a lot of people are focusing on longevity too, and misses are not good for that. That'll fry your CNS. It'll get in your head. It'll lead to injuries. Like, there's so many downsides to missing a lift.
Yeah, and I think it's like, you don't really, until you kind of like know how your body works as far as just like what training, like you were I don't know, you're receptive to and stuff. I think we all have that, just like that high school image of just like weight training, or, you know, college, where it's just like, I'm going to go in and just kill myself every session. It's like, I mean, you might feel like a badass doing that, but like, to sit there and just kind of calculatedly get to something, it takes a little bit more, I guess, trial and error to kind of see what works, what doesn't work, and everything else, right? And then, like Craig was saying, we've had the same coach. I still like reference him with what I'm doing. The last two preps I did myself, but we had the same coach for like 7 or 8 years, and it's like, brought me from a 1847 to a 2347, brought Craig from 19
LA Fitness.
yeah, LA Fitness, fucking squatting in a rack, to, you know, near a 2,300 pound total, multiple 1,000-pound squats. So it's just, you know, find somebody that knows what they're doing, and then just trust it. You know what I mean? All buy-in.
So who did you guys have for a coach?
Sean Danner, which is my boy. He's the co-owner of the gym that we go to, and he's just like one of these like super smart like guys when it comes to like the science of everything, and just kind of like, he's read a bunch of the literature and stuff. He's strong in his own right, but like not like Craig or myself, but he knows how to like program somebody to be strong. He's coached a bunch of, probably like 3 or 4 guys to sit there and squat over 850 pounds. Girls, I mean, he's probably coached three girls to 1,100 pound totals, which is like,
yeah,
insane. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's almost as impressive as like the big numbers that we hit, you know, as far as for chicks. And so he knows what he's talking about, and it's one of those things where he's not like, he's kind of like Yoda, where it's like, he doesn't advertise being a coach. He's not like somebody that's going to be like checking in with you every session or whatever. And like, if you're newer, like, he'll kind of guide you through it a little bit. But like for Craig and I, like, he just kind of sends us our program, and then we just check in every once in a while, send him videos. But, you know, we kind of know what we're doing for the most part, so we just follow the recipe, and, you know, hopefully the cake comes out all right at the meet. So
basically.
Yeah, it's something that honestly I'm a huge advocate for now, is because I got a coach back in I think right after my meet in September, and he's an 1,100 pound multiply squatter, so he definitely knows what he's doing, and I've seen just insane gains from it already. I mean, that and putting on, I think, what, 25 pounds of body weight since then. So,
dude, there we go. Eating up, I'm sure.
Yeah, I wanted to commit to 242, but I mean, I'm 6'2" and I'm 24, so everyone's like, dude, go 275. Just
fill out.
Fill it out.
Yeah, I think I was literally the only one that wanted me to be 242, so I was like, all right, fine.
And it's one of those things too. It's like hard, like, I feel like especially with like newer lifters, like they want to like cut to a weight class or whatever, a certain thing, and like I don't know, like I've stayed at like literally the exact same body weight for the majority of like the time I've been doing this. I've been right around like 295 to 305 kind of range, so I can't like really speak on it, but it's like if your body wants to grow, like you're gonna get stronger that way. If your body gets bigger, you're gonna get stronger. You're gonna hit bigger numbers. Like that's really the goal. You know what I mean? Like if you're maybe in a place to sit there and win like a best lifter, or like maybe if you want to win a weight class or whatever, it's all what's important to you. But I think at the end of the day, like we all want to see those numbers just kind of start ticking up and stuff. So bigger is better.
For sure. And I mean, there's the whole thing about like dots versus total, and I'm assuming you guys are the total guys, just by.
Yeah, Craig really doesn't like dots. he's okay with Wilkes, but he really doesn't like dots.
Yeah, I like Wilkes. Dots is just it eliminates half a weight class. Shade is like the only person over 300 pounds that has a chance. If you think about it,
it's close, man. Like like this last one, like it was me and this guy Luke Tolman from the UK, super nice dude, huge bencher, like a 600 pound bencher, dude, crazy. And it came down to like the last deadlift, you know what I mean? If he got his, and I had to hit mine, and it worked out. And then same thing at my meet in December, it was Wilkes, which was better. If it was dots, I would have been screwed. But it was Wilkes, and it was with Chad. And again, it came down to like the very last deadlift to sit there. It's it makes it fun where it's kind of like you're close and you're competitive, but like Craig and I would both agree that like we definitely like that it's just like we want to compete with somebody as far as like a total or something like that, or like if somebody that doesn't total as much like gets prize money over it, it's just kind of like I don't want to be an asshole, but it's like eye roll a little bit. You're just like but which is cool is because the next meet we're doing though is going to be the Reach Rumble in Utah. And that is a total meet. And I feel like they just had the Clash of the Titans in Ireland. That was last weekend. That was a total meet. And 2024, dude, I think it's the year of the total meets coming back. We haven't had anything really since since Big Dogs. But, I think this is kind of starting a trend here, hopefully soon, where you start seeing a lot more of these they're not going to be as many because it's like you're not going to have as many big total guys like around, but like it draws everybody into like one central spot, right? So you can finally get everyone on the same equipment, the same platform, and it's just kind of who's got the bigger total on the day, and that's it's pretty easy to sit there and figure out who the strongest one is then, right?
Yeah, when I had Brandon Allen on, I was talking to him about big dogs, and I like the idea of a total meet because it's funny. I brought my girlfriend to one of like her first meets, and she was talking about like all the little weight classes. She's like, "Why do they even compete if they can't move big weight?"
That's like I think even from like this is like a general person like looking in, like when you have to like explain, like even like so if I talk to my mom about this and it's like, oh, I have a competition this weekend, is anyone going to be stronger than you there? I don't think total wise, but like there's the whole weight class versus how much you lift. It's like you have to explain it, and it's just I don't know. It is what it is, but I think it's a cool opportunity to sit there and just have both. You know what I mean? Like obviously not everyone's 300 plus pounds and doing whatever. So like everyone, it makes it even feels for everybody. I think that's what's cool though, is like Sheffield even showed that like you can have a gigantic meet with the best lifters, big payout. It's not like your typical format. It's not a coefficient thing. It's a how much can you break the world record by kind of deal. So you can have these meets where it's not your conventional rules to sit there and determine who the best lifter is, and they kind of catch on. So it just depends really if how well this first one kind of goes over. That Clash of Titans from last year to this year, like they had last year there was 2 guys that totaled over 2,200 pounds. This year there was 5, and then 4 of them had like 2,300 plus totals. So it was just like a really insane jump in level. And I feel like next year is probably going to be even better because like Greg and I were watching, like you were saying, squat Sundays. You guys watched the meet. Like him and I were watching that meet last Saturday, and it was like we're getting hyped up for it and everything else. And it's just it gets you excited to sit there and get right back into a prep. So
you guys are what did you say you guys were doing for your next meet again? What was the name of it?
The Reach Rumble. So Reach, the pre-workout company, they do the super green pre-workout, the nootropics and everything. they're putting on a total meet, so they're like the main sponsor. But ABS, who is the people over in Ireland that just put on the Clash of Titans, they do all the different ABS comps and everything else like that with the big belt and the show where it's like, you know, pyro and everything else like that. They're going to be actually putting the meet on. So they're going to be having their judges come out. So it's going to be IPF level judges or, you know, IPF affiliated judges. So it's going to be strict as hell. We're going to be doing, everything is going to be in sleeves. So we have like 13, 14 lifters and it's all going to be sleeves, combo rack, walked out, 45-pound bar. So it's late. I mean, as IPF as this thing gets, you know, without the untested
drugs.
But yeah. And but it's just one of those things where it's cool because I think, you know, you can watch any meet and you can be like, oh, well, he's good in a monolift, or he's good in wraps, or he's good with a kabuki bar. Or he's like, we're getting everyone on the same platform, same equipment. It's not anyone's first choice in equipment, but I think it's one of those things too where like you hear it from like almost like, you know, it's like we're talking about the USAPL kids, like it's just a general group of people, but like it's like, oh well, if I squatted on a deadlift or squat bar, or if I pulled on a deadlift bar, and it's like, all right, well, let me show you it's not that big of a difference to sit there and
Yeah.
kind of equipment, right? So I think I've never done a meet like this, especially the caliber that this kind of meet's going to be. So it's very exciting in the sense of like, it's different than just like hitting big numbers. It's like, I want to hit clean numbers with no question on tough equipment against tough people where everyone can see. And it's just like, see where you shake out. You know what I mean? It's like you're testing yourself kind of a deal. And it's, I don't know. I feel like every meet prep, I kind of like you make it bigger in your head than it really is. So it hypes you up for training. But like, this is really going to be, you know, for me anyway, probably one of the biggest meets I've ever been a part of, if not the biggest meet. So you really want to make sure, you know, Craig and I here like rise to the occasion and put on a show here in about 20 weeks.
Yeah. Well, I wish you guys best of luck. I think this is a good time to kind of conclude part one of this two-part episode.